Well, they said I had to take a steamer before I get out of here. So I just unleashed a major toxic. I think the paint's starting to come off the walls. So I think they're definitely going to have to bring my walking pharmacy into the bathroom with me. I think after this steamer, hold on, courtesy flush. I think I'm definitely going to be going home after that steamer. Whew. These walls were yellow. They're turning a musty greenish brown right now, brother.
What's that smell?
Welcome back to the Wild Shadow, everybody. So, Cameron, what do you get when you cross a generic, cheesy 80s action movie with Hulk Hogan?
I don't know, Derek. Suburban Commando?
Yes and no. A worse movie. A movie so awful that the WWE basically disowned it. Welcome to our review of No Holds Barred.
That really sounds stupid from the title alone.
All right. Well, it's funny that you say that, because the stupidity of this movie should have wrecked not only Hogan's acting career, but also Vince McMahon's media productions outside of the typical WWE broadcasting and content he makes and pay-per-views and all the other, WWE related shit he produces.
Well, that's true. However, Hogan's Bar was the WWE's first real attempt to branch into movies, as the movie itself follows a WWE wrestler named Rip, who is definitely not Hulk Hogan, who's the top draw for TV. Who is the top draw for TV. A rival network tries poorly to recruit him to their network or channel, and despite him in the WWE or WWF.
It's funny how you brought that up, right? Like, the plot of this movie is not Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan jumping ship to a rival network, which definitely doesn't mirror anything that happened in the 1990s, where he actually left the WWF and joined WCW. Obviously, this movie has no relation to that, but funny parallel. But anyhow,
it actually came out a few years before he did that, so
yeah, they're definitely a huge foreshadowing, brother. Anyhow, meanwhile, as you were talking about here in the plot, Rip romances an executive. Fuck this movie. Right. So he has a romantic interest, and this executive who tries to get as much from him, from his image and his merchandise as possible, which definitely isn't Vince McMahon. And he ultimately saves her and himself from numerous cheesy and poorly executed fight scenes and action set pieces. He eventually confronts Zeus in a big network spectacular special that promises to be a bloody fight to avenge his crippled brother. Oh, God. Fuck this movie. I hate to give spoilers, but this movie sucks fucking major donkey dick. And this is one of the lamest fight sequences about the film. Fuck, man. I can't go on with this movie. Oh, God. Hogan and Zeus primarily use wrestling techniques. I should say pro wrestling techniques. For simply beating the shit out of each other with their fist. And everything at their disposal, just like a typical WWF match at the time.
Well, this movie could have been different had Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon were barred from rewriting the script. Apparently, the two assholes had the original script, but it wasn't to their liking, and so they went to a hotel in Florida and spent 72 hours destroying and redoing the entire script. Well, it would have been a masterpiece. The McMahon script is filled with humor that immature children would find funny, and no one else.
Oh, God, Hulk Hogan simply doesn't have the charisma to be a major Hollywood actor. And this movie, which I'm not sure if this is like his first major movie. I'm not counting, Rocky 3, where again he just plays simply Hulk Hogan and he just fucking beats the shit out of Stallone. Like this is his first, movie as Hulk Hogan after Hulkamania and all that. So, and this could be forgiven if this is his first effort, but this is arguably his best, you know, how would you say, movie where he's the main lead or whatever. This is as good as it gets as far as Hulk Hogan movies, right? He just, again, he lacks charisma, to be fucking a Hollywood actor. I mean, his goofy shtick or whatever he does, he's like, brothers, he drops a fucking leg drop and Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, that shit works for like sports entertainment and wrestling, but not for a big screen, Hollywood blockbuster. I mean, honestly, he's like a fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger from fucking Wish. Yeah, like, we don't need like a never terribly charismatic fucking right out jock dropping quippy one-liners. I mean that's what Schwarzenegger is. Anyhow, as far as again all those movies beginning in the late '80s and the '90s, he's appeared in several. Which besides No Holds Barred, Suburban Commando is probably his best known movie, and he did have a short-lived TV series called Thunder in Paradise, which again is, if you've ever seen it, combined drugs, Knight Rider, and Baywatch, and you get fucking Thunder in Paradise, brothers. Fuck that show is terrible too. At least they had a cool fucking speedboat. But by the end of the '90s, Hogan was pretty much just doing guest roles on shows like Walker Texas Ranger or appearing straight to video shit. He did have a straight to TV movie where he plays a fucking like special forces commando. Oh god, it's funny because they give him like a fucking terrible looking toupee where it looks like he has like a flat top. And of course at this time he's bald,
Yeah.
And he actually wore that when he was in WCW, fucking wrestling match. And I think it was Macho Man that just fucking just rips it off him and he's like, "You're going nowhere, brother." Fucking terrible. Anyhow, what's crazy is this guy, all right, it built Hulkamania, which, again, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the reason why the WWE, which back then was known as the WWF, has basically become like a household fucking thing, where like it's pretty much a firm staple in, I would say, pop culture and society. It's all arguably due to the rise in popularity of Hulkamania. Like in the mid '80s, I think it was like '84, '85. I mean, Hogan had been in and out of the WWF promotion before that point, but that's when Vince McMahon's dad was running it. So he comes back in the late '80s, or sorry, mid '80s, and then they put the fucking their jetpack on him, and he carries the WWF promotion to the moon, basically. Because back in those days, you just had a bunch of like family ran, like territorial type promotions. And then Vince McMahon and the WWF started to go national, like nationwide. And basically Hulk Hogan was the face of it. And somehow it worked. I mean, his whole shtick was literally, "Where are my Hulkamaniacs, brothers? Oh, eat your vitamins, say your prayers." And he just rips his fucking goddamn shirt off and does all this shit. Or like the staple of most of his matches would be like he would get his ass kicked by like the heel wrestler, right? And then at some point it looks like he's gonna die, and then he's like, he starts hulking up like a fucking moron, and then he makes his great comeback, beats the shit out of the guy, drops the fucking leg up, 1, 2, 3, match is over. And somehow that became like the thing in the '80s, and that's the reason why Hulk Hogan is a fucking household name, And then, of course, his popularity began to wane, like in the late '80s, early '90s, even within like WWF circles, And he couldn't really capitalize on his fame, as you've seen with No Holds Barred, Suburban Commando, Santa with muscles, Mr. Nanny or something. Like, there's a reason his film career just tanked. But yeah, I think it was in 1994. He had spent a year away from wrestling, or 2 years, joins the WWF's rival company, WCW, or World Championship Wrestling. And then a couple of years after that, he's a key member of the stable known as the NWO, or New World Order, with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And that leads to a resurgence in his popularity. Like he turns heel, which, again, dude became a fucking, his popularity he did have a huge resurgence in popularity because of that shit. And it's like you watch this guy, it's like it's amazing, like how there was a lot better people. They could have fucking put that fucking jetpack on. God damn, brothers. Anyhow, and all of this, honestly, I would say the pinnacle of this dude's career wasn't like WrestleMania 3, where he pins Andre the Giant and he slams him. Was WrestleMania 18, where he has to face off with The Rock. If you actually could find footage of that match, for those of you watching this review, it is electric. I mean, that was actually a damn good match. And it's just like the atmosphere, because this is at the point where The Rock was the face of wrestling. And it's like icon versus icon. That was big, and then after that, his career taking an embarrassing downhill. Like, I mean, it's actually crazy all the stupid shit that's come out about this guy since that point in his career. Brothers.
Anyway, Hulk Hogan kind of lasted a few years after that match between him and The Rock in the WWE. I believe after Brock Lesnar beat the crap out of him in SummerSlam, or won the WWE's pay-per-view events, he was done with the WWE as a wrestler for many years, and he joined another company called TNA. But he was there. He was there for a bit, and then, but after that, he was basically done as a wrestler. And occasionally, he comes back to the WWE to promote something for the company or for himself. But let's get back to our review. The WWE basically failed in putting Hulk Hogan into Hollywood. They corrected their mistake a decade later after No Holds Barred was released with the Rock, aka Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne had the talent and charisma Hollywood was looking for, and he was given guest roles in TV shows like Star Trek Voyager, That's Indian Show, and others. And hosted Saturday Night Live before he was given a start in major movies like The Mummy Returns. His presence as the Scorpion King in that movie led to his first major role as the lead in the subtitle Scorpion King. Ever since then, he has been mostly successful movies and made some excellent business deals, something Hulk Hogan hasn't done yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, talking about No Holds Bar, all right, there's not much more else to say about this fucking movie. Okay. I mean, if you're a fan of Hulk Hogan, go see it. Even the antagonist of the movie, Zeus, believe it or not, that guy's actually had a prominent film career, usually like minor roles, but he was also a wrestler too. Like in real life, he was actually in the WWF. And like in the movie The Dark Knight, the scene where like they're on the ferries and they have like the switch for the bombs. Like the prisoner that's like could be the switch. And he just tosses it up the fucking ferry. That was him.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's actually had a prominent career. Again, usually he just plays some fucking like muscled goon, but he's been in movies and other TV shows and projects. But honestly, yeah, this movie sucks.
Dude, I was upset that I had to watch this movie. That's how bad this movie sucks. I wanted it to break my television. That's how awful it was.
I'm not gonna lie. Out of all the Hulk Hogan movies, I've never seen Mr. Nanny. I'm never going to. I've seen Suburban Commando, and I've seen Santa with Muscles, and obviously No Holds Barred. Suburban Commando, yeah, depending on your taste in movies, might be the more watchable. To me, it's not. There's a lot of stupid shit, but The Undertaker's in it. Actually, there's a handful of famous wrestlers that have like minor roles in that movie. But but anyhow, as Hulk Hogan once famously said during a WCW writers meeting, because they would go over storylines, and he had creative control, which was rare back in those days. Like they would pitch ideas, they would have like everything fleshed out for like major events. He would go in the last minute, he'd be like, "Does it work for me, brother?" and change the finish to whatever storyline he's in. And let's be honest with this movie. The moral of the story is to work on your craft before you join the big fishes in the sea. All right. Whatever you were talking about earlier, the WWE has successfully branched off into Hollywood. I wanted to call the WWE like a big player in Hollywood, but you get the likes of Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, John Cena, they're all like prominent movie role stars. Dave Bautista,
Oh, I forgot.
the guy, the guy that plays Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's also been in a lot of other movies. He's actually arguably, out of all these people we're talking about, the best actor. I mean, Dwayne Johnson or The Rock, he's good for action movies, and honestly, he's a more well-spoken, more articulate, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's got even more charisma, but he's not that good of an actor.
Well,
that's
well, I hate to interrupt you, but that's night I was watching AEW, whatever that wrestling promotion's called. They had a wrestler called The Edge on their programming for the time being. And I was actually looking him up while watching this match because they were holding a competition or a special event.
He was in Vikings.
Yeah, but Edge apparently took a decade off after quitting WWE at one point to become an actor, and then he rejoined wrestling a decade later. He was also in Highlander Endgame, which is a movie so awful we should review one day.
Yeah, we should. But there's been other wrestlers that have had prominent film careers. Kevin Nash. That's another fucker that can't act. And there's others. Even Stone Cold Steve Austin actually had a Hollywood career. Somewhat.
Oh yeah, he had. Yeah, I saw the movie with film and Steven Seagal. God help him.
But even like other talents like Kane, Triple H, CM Punk. You name a guy that was prominent in wrestling since the 2000s. They've probably been in at least a home, like a straight to DVD movie, because the WWE does produce movies, some of which are actually good. I think The Marine, John Cena, was actually a good movie. And then a lot of them are just shit. But the WWE is a very large multimedia company now. They're no longer just straight wrestling. It's actually amazing. Granted, all the weird shit that Hulk Hogan's done. We got clips of him taking a shit throughout the review. And all the other racist things and all the things he's done. It's amazing how they're able to build that company up. But anyhow, again, if you're a fan of Hulk Hogan and wrestling and wrestlers and movies, check out No Holds Barred. If you can't stand any of that shit, avoid this movie like the goddamn plague.
Right.
It is awful. It's not even awful like in an entertaining way. It's just a bad movie. You need a lot of drugs to think it's a good movie. So with that said,
we'll put like this: any movie where the main hero of the movie is grabbing a guy while he's training his pants, and he's shouting, "Dookie!" You have a great enough movie right there on the spot.
Yeah, instant classic. So anyhow, thank you all for tuning into this review of No Holds Bar. Drop a like, subscribe, follow the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Until the next time.
Yes.
Later, y'all.
Same. Brothers.
Yeah. What you gonna do when the YS7 runs wild on you? Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. God.